going southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast, back on YouTube. And we got my wife, Kade Vogel, here to talk about her most recent duck hunting experience. But we got a lot of great stuff, interesting stuff to talk about it. So what's going on, Dad?
Well, I'll just say this without giving a lot of details. God can take you places in your life, and you're just not sure, and faith is doing something when common sense tells you not to. And Tristan and I have been faced with a little bit of a conundrum, and that we're going to overcome, and we're excited about it. God's a big part of that, and that's the vibe I'm feeling right now, son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can echo that, and just kind of one of those things that at a later date we can get into. We love to keep it real with you guys, but that's kind of the extent of what we can get into right now. But at a later date, we can give some more information about what we got, working and all that stuff. But
everything's fine with 0 Duck 30.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Absolutely. So, Kade, what's going on?
I'm good. If you guys were wondering about that. But I mean, in other news, so apparently Florida State is not making it into the playoffs, which is an absolute outrage.
I'm killing myself.
Abomination.
It's basically all I've been able to talk about all day. It is outright disgusting. It is uncalled for. It is just not okay. And honestly, college football has failed America.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that say things that is unprofessional and they taking it a little bit too personal. But I thought the most professional thing said was right from the ACC commissioner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you've got an ACC commissioner that's going to step out and say something like that immediately, dude, we're talking about a very respected individual at the top of the ACC, and it just ain't right. I mean, I'm a huge Georgia fan, and I'm going to get into that, but yeah, it's effed.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's the first time since the college football playoff's been around, which I think is like 2013, so I think it's been 10, 11 years now. The first time that a Power 5 conference winner that was undefeated did not make the top 4 and be in the college football playoff, which is just absolutely insane.
No, and we're going to let you guys know about it today and share our opinions. And it's the reality of hunting, but it's also the reality of the podcast, and we're pissed off about it.
I feel personally victimized.
Yeah.
By the situation.
If y'all didn't know, Kade is a proud FSU graduate.
Yeah. I've been a graduate since 2018. So I started the year after we won the national championship. So whole families die hard. So.
Yeah, and when you were there, it was like they were coming off the national championship and trying to build something good again, and then now they're finally back to that point, and then it's like this heartbreak is just like ridiculous.
It's
since then, their winning percentages went from 0.3 to 0.835.
Yeah.
I saw last night on a football game. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Talking about a coach making an impact.
Oh man. Yeah.
Dude, he's the shit.
He is. So let's just start with what we talked about at brunch. We had to get through church and ask God for forgiveness before we could talk about all this stuff today. So, but Kade, just dive into it. What's your personal opinions on this whole thing?
About
with FSU not getting in?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about duck hunting now.
No, no. I want to let you truly vent, because you're sitting over there going, I got something to say.
No, I mean, it's, it's disrespectful. It just doesn't seem right. It feels like, we got another championship title taken away from us. We won every game.
Yeah.
Like, we might have struggled, but, so we can't give our new quarterback a chance.
So let me ask you this, though. One side of the coin I haven't heard anybody talk about with this whole thing with FSU. Of course, even the announcer said last night that their defense was championship level defense.
Oh, yeah, they played hard.
Okay, so let that all sink in there, all you naysayers. Let that sink in, because I'm a Georgia fan, right? But I'm just saying this. When you got some of the best announcers in the game, they're going, whoa, wait a minute. These guys, I'm thinking Baltimore Ravens type of play, Steelers. That's what's kind of like shut down defenses, corners, all that stuff. Here's the flip side that nobody's really thought about. Why wouldn't they get more vote for fighting through the adversity?
Exactly.
Because the SEC is like ruling the decisions, and so
why are we looking at?
I think it's rigged.
Oh, the starting quarterback's not there. No, why are we looking at? You want to talk about team, and you want to promote team NCAA?
Yeah.
What better of an environment to say the reason why they got in? I'm sorry, Bama or whoever it was that gets knocked out, even if with Georgia, all that. But what about that side of the fence,
right?
Tristan?
No, I totally agree. It kind of sets, like, I was talking to Katie's brother last night. It sets like an ugly precedent for like the whole the way the committee or the way that everything looks for college football, because it's like you can go undefeated, win your conference, have I think 3 top 15 or
I can't even
top 25 wins, which is on par with everybody else. I know Texas had like the hardest schedule or whatever, strength of schedule, but like it just sets an ugly precedent for like for whatever their decision making process is.
So let's just do this real quick. I'm a logical thinker. NCAA March Madness, right? Basketball. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets in. Mm-hmm. That qualifies. If you are a championship winner, no matter your record, mm-hmm. you're in your championship tournament, you could be 1-28 or whatever it is. If you win that championship, like say the SEC, ACC championship, or even those lower Division II, Division I AA mm-hmm. tournaments, you win that, you're in. And there's 32 teams, and guess what? You have
there's 64 teams.
64. I'm sorry. 64.
So I don't know how that process.
Well, here's where I'm going with it is that we always have that Cinderella story, right? Mm-hmm. So is that your TCUs?
Well,
is that your Cincinnatis?
Well, this is what I would say. So it seems like every year up until now, there's been like these dominant like Georgia teams the last 2 years, or like Michigan,
Duke basketball.
State. There's been, with football, there's been these dominant teams. So like when you look at the Final Four, it's like, okay, well, they're probably the best 4 teams in football, but you know who the top 2 are usually.
But let them all play for it.
But next year they're going to that top 8, and this is the first year that I feel like in the existence of the college football playoff that it's like you really got 6, 7, 8 teams that like could really play for this thing.
That's true.
Like you look at for example like Washington and Oregon. So Washington beat Oregon twice. Washington's in the playoffs, Oregon's not, but they beat them both times by a field goal, and Oregon only lost to Washington. So it's like they're going to be top 5, top 6 in the country when this whole thing goes down. But it's like, who's to say if you make an 18 playoff, which is how it's going to be next year, Oregon doesn't run the table. And part of my thing with college football, like why I haven't been a huge fan like growing up, is for that reason. Like the NFL, you can get a wild card team that runs the table and makes it happen. In college football, it seems like it's always been like these dominant teams, and it feels like this is the most entertaining year that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because of the competitive field, I guess.
Well, here's where I'm going with it all. So, how to me this seems like the least path of resistance mm-hmm. is if you set it up exactly the same way you set up the March Madness tournament, mm-hmm. the exact same structure. Let those FAUs get in if they win their conference championship. Let the Alabamas get in if they win their championship, or it's based on the record and all how they do the same NCAA. Put 64 damn football teams in it. I
think there's a lot more logistics that go into football and injuries and schedule and all. There's a lot more that goes into it.
I understand, but
that's like the reason.
But why draw the line at 8 is where I'm at. All right, we drew the line at 4. We know that's not good. The way they did before that was even worse. So I appreciate that they changed it.
Right.
But obviously everybody's seeing the need to change it. And are the commissioners sitting there going, seriously, think about this from a psychological level. It really doesn't matter, because as time goes by, next year it's 8, and they'll all forget about this season.
Yeah.
Except for Florida State.
Is that part of the decision? Is that part of the
except for Florida
State. Is that
State.
part of the round table decision going, the politics of that?
They know that somebody's going to get pissed off here, mm-hmm. because unfortunately this is the year that like there's a lot of people that have a serious claim to, like Texas, shoot, I don't remember who the hell Texas lost to, but they beat Alabama.
Yeah.
And Alabama beat Georgia, and Texas has the hardest strength of schedule in the nation. So it's like they got a legitimate claim. Washington obviously does. They're undefeated. Michigan's undefeated. And then you look at Alabama, who beat the number 1 team in the country and lost to Texas. So it's like everybody's got a real serious claim. Georgia does too.
Yeah.
I mean, Georgia lost to Alabama.
Dude, we lost one time in 2 years.
Right. So
and we beat Alabama in the national championship.
And then there's FSU on top of it. So
Who
somebody
did not lose.
Yeah.
somebody was gonna get pissed.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks.
Well, it's just to me, it's just like, well, let's take a step back, which there obviously there's so many. I feel like there's so much politics in movie show and to what they do with all this whole thing. But at the end of the day, it's about giving everybody a fair chance. And if you are not able to put a check sheet on that television for the American viewers to say, this is why, side-by-side comparison in a structured way, years ago when they went to this whole format, they should have already had just like NFL rules and outlines that, hey, unfortunately, these are the check marks that this is structured by. This is why they get in. If everybody had that to look at right now and just go, well, I don't like those structured check marks, but that's the way it was formed, and that's rules are rules, right?
I guarantee you next year they're going to have to because of the uprise that's been
Something's got to
happening
change
because of this. People are livid.
Well, and the transition to 8 teams, it sucks because this is the year that I don't know what next year is going to hold, but this is the only year I was talking to her brother, like the only year I can ever remember that there's 5, 6, 7 teams that are like legitimate, should be in there.
Yep.
And it just doesn't feel like even like Georgia, they just got beat. Like they, didn't feel like
not
a
by
dominant
much.
team.
It doesn't seem really fair to them either.
No, and it didn't feel like
And hands off to Alabama for going into Atlanta and beating Georgia.
No.
It didn't feel like any team was like overly dominant this year, and that's the thing. Anything could happen this year. But
No, I feel like I'm eating my words. I was cheering for Alabama last night because I was kind of hoping Georgia would fall from grace for once. And then now Alabama took our spot in the playoffs. So clearly shouldn't wish for things like that because now I'm eating my words. But it sucks.
It's unfortunate, and I think it just sucks because if this year was the 18 playoff, I think that everybody that deserved to be in would be in this year, and there wouldn't be this argument. But just is what it is. But again, this is the first year it's really been like this. So.
And I know you guys probably weren't anticipating listening to a sports podcast today.
Williamson Outfitters, located along the beautiful coast of Florida, is a premier guide service with lodging that provides incredible coastal duck hunting, gator hunting, fishing, gigging, scalloping, and custom boat tours along Florida's forgotten coast. They are family-owned and operated with over 200 years of combined experience hunting and fishing along this incredible stretch of Florida. Captain Chris runs a first-class operation. On a coastal duck hunt, you have an incredible chance at many rare species of diver ducks and several puddle duck species. Have you ever heard of Chase Landry from Swamp People? How'd you like to have him as your guide duck hunting this year? Also featured this month, celebrity chef Amadeus will be there for a meet and greet, and DUTV will be filming an episode, so stay tuned for that. To book an experience you can savor for a lifetime, you can call or text Captain Chris at 850-251-8650, or you can go to floridaducks.com and check available dates for all their services. Don't wait, they book up fast.
So we should probably dive into the duck stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Katie went out on her second duck hunting trip with us.
I would also like to preface the fact that I thought I would just be going once a year. And so actually my first time was November of,
No, you went last January.
Last January. So like technically this is my second time this year if we want to get like a little technical with it.
Right?
So I'm now an expert.
Yeah. She went for opening weekend in Arkansas.
So now I've gone duck hunting 6 times if we want to count like all the, different times we went out.
Yeah. And again, it's like she has this like good luck charm. I don't know if it was her little lucky duck. If y'all didn't see that episode, I don't know. But she brought this little rubber lucky duck out to the blind.
It was more so that I forgot that I had it in one of my purses that I brought with me. It was actually from our anniversary trip in Savannah. It came in one of my drinks, and I apparently took it home with me.
And all the way to Arkansas.
And all the way to Arkansas, and I didn't know it. So I put the lucky duck in my waders, and there she shall live until the next time I go duck hunting. She is everybody's lucky duck now.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, I'll tell you what, we're all about the reality, right? And if I'm going to be honest, Tristan and I have had some conversations prior to the opening split this year, and we were like, dude, we've had like the worst luck ever on the first split. Like,
I can't believe you guys were like, yes, Katie should come to that.
Well, I was thinking about there's no bugs, it's warmer temperatures, and it's a better environment for ladies.
It was a little chilly.
Yeah, it did get a little chilly. But Tristan and I were just like, dude, we've never had a good first split. And thanks to Delta Thunder Outfitters, man, and Kade, dude, doing all the work, weeks in advance to get things ready and stuff. The ducks cooperated, and we smoked their ass. I mean, it's just all there is to it.
Yeah, no. And I would like to come forward and say, well, I went on, when I was there, I was on a couple of different hunts, but I prefer the hunts where I'm actually next to Kade.
Yes.
Reason being is because every time I've gone hunting, I've been in a little bit of a different environment. And like, obviously I joke that I'm the expert. I am certainly not. So this environment was a little different. We were in the ground in a metal box. And then when it was bright out, there was like a cage with like grass that went over us. And that was a whole nother world for me. Not to mention, like, not only is there grass on top of me, there's sun straight in my eyes. So that's also not super fun.
Good job, Kade. No, it wasn't.
No, but I was saying, like, I preferred, because, like, when I first started, like, I wasn't, like, right next to him. And, like, you're wearing ear protection, and he's, like, 4 people away from me. And I just like it better when he's, like, in my ear, like, telling me to shoot. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I personally shoot better when he's, like, shoot now, like, in my face. And so, anyway, so my day, was it day 2? Was that the second day? That was my fate? No.
Yeah.
Oh, when you was the MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, MVP of day 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite day. But
that was all of our favorite day because, dude, you, like, were, like, what was that movie about the sniper?
Chris Kyle.
Yeah, dude, you were Katie Kyle.
There's just, like, there's so many different things, like, if you don't go duck hunting all the time, like, not only, like, is there, like, a grass cage over top of you that you have to, like, jump up and move out of the way.
Yep.
And you have to aim and all of that. Like, we didn't realize, so Kade lets me borrow one of his guns, and there was, like, a strap on it. And so he couldn't see when, like, earlier on in the season, he was, like, not in the season, but, like, in the earlier hunts, he was like, why are you waving the gun around in the air? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, there's grass in my way. Like, I was trying to move the gun. He was like, let me take off the strap. And he took it off. And then I was like, boom, 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 like shooting all the ducks. And he was like, oh, okay. So, like, you could have told me that. I didn't know, I wouldn't say that I'm the expert at all.
Right.
But
that's something you wasn't used to.
I just
like
thought
when you go
everybody
shoot the range with Tristan and stuff, you don't have
that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not used to the strap. So, like, I just didn't even really, I just kind of thought I didn't even realize it was a problem. So, like, he has such a keen eye to those things that he was like, well, that's an issue. We're going to take that off and see how you do without it. And so I clearly can't have a gun with a strap on it ever again, which is fine.
Well, and the other great thing is that he's kind of like trying to coach and help you because Kade was a competitive shooter. He's a hell of a shot. And he just, he noticed little things, like, hey, let's do this, and kind of stop the hunt just to kind of help Katie out and just say, hey, this is how you line up or how you hold your gun or whatever it might be.
Yeah, it was funny because so in the mornings before, the sun really comes up, we keep basically in these, if you've never hunted a pit blind, you keep the grass cages as Katie calls them.
Is that what they're called?
Pit blinds, yeah.
Because you're like in a pit.
Yeah.
And then you're covered up so you're blind.
Yeah.
Yep. You're blinded. You're in a blind. So, not that your vision is blind.
I've hunted a lot.
It seems like you're blind.
I've been blind a lot with duck hunting.
So,
I felt blind.
In these pit blinds, if you guys have never sat in one, especially all from Florida, like these cages, as Katie called them, you lay them down or whatever, and before the sun comes up, it's not really a concern about getting picked out by ducks because they can't see. I mean, it's really just a matter of luck that they're buzzing through.
We just fold the backs up.
Yeah, fold the backs up, keep the bottom down or the front down, and this teal lands in the decoys, and we all look at each other and we're like, all right, Katie, get your gun, because like it's like a perfect opportunity, and there really wasn't that opportunity the first time Katie came hunting to really just like line up
face to face too.
I mean, a duck in the decoys.
Eye level.
Yeah, literally, because you're sitting like basically level with the decoys, and she just pulls up and freaking.
Well, she was used
blows the face off.
Every time we hunted was either in an elevated blind, or it was in like you're standing. You're not in a pit.
Right.
I feel like every time I hunted, it was like in the tree line.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like in the ground before.
Yeah.
So that was a little different. I always joke that I'm going to shoot their faces off. I didn't actually mean to do that this time around.
But you did.
But you did.
But I accidentally.
But it kind of had a big bill. It got in the way.
It was clearly in the way. That was not my intentions, but I did accidentally blow its face off.
Or spoonies.
These things happen.
Well, that was a teal, and then about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, this spoonie comes working through the decoys, and it was kind of working like if we're all sitting there working from like right to left, and there's a few people on the right, and then I think it was
I was one of them.
Yeah, I think it was like my dad, then
Mario.
No, Mario wasn't there.
I forget who. It doesn't matter who was there,
Me,
but it was
Colton.
like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But it was like
there was only 5 of us.
Me, Katie, and Cade on the end. So I like couldn't get my shit up in time, and then it was like past my shooting lane, and it was like Cade and Katie, and Cade didn't even pull up his gun because I guess
he even call the shot.
He did, yeah.
I think he told us we sucked, and then I shot it.
And Katie just pulls up like because Cade didn't even have his gun. Katie's the only one pulled up and just freaking boom folds his spoon one shot.
It was a Billy the Kid moment.
He didn't call the shot.
I think he did.
He did?
Yeah. And freaking with a 20 gauge too, like probably 20-25 yards in the decoys, folded.
No, I think it was a good long shot, and I mean 3 more feet, she's shooting it in the ass.
It was really impressive because it was the first time that like she like pulled up
on her own
and folded a duck. Yeah. Nobody else shot. 100% her. Like it was pretty neat.
Yeah, the Lord of Ducks brought you that duck.
It just teaches you, Tristan, that like when you act up, you better like remember that moment.
You can take off running across the yard, Tristan, but she's gonna shoot you running.
Well, thankfully you borrowed Kay's gun, and it's not at our house.
We got a couple at the house though. That I'm sure.
There's a strap on mine, so at least you'll have to take the strap off first, so I can have some time to run. Like,
house ain't that big.
No, it ain't.
That's hilarious. But no, that was really good. And then we went out in the afternoon and had a good little hunt that evening.
Yeah, that was my first evening hunt, which was kind of weird. It was because the last time I went, we hunted 3 days in a row, but we never did evening hunts, and it was like really, really early mornings. I mean, of course, these were early mornings too, but to like be awake for the first hunt and then like go out for the second hunt like after we had lunch, I thought maybe we would have gotten a nap in or whatever, but it was fine.
Yeah, no, it's Katie. After we got done, she was, these evening hunts are fun, is what she said.
No, I mean, like I liked it. Was pretty out and it was sunny and
that sunset. I mean,
yeah. We really lucked out with the weather. It was just a nice weekend. With
it
all
was. When you went to the bathroom, Tristan, I was saying that we have never had a good opening split, first opener. And you and I were kind of like...
No, just first, like the opening weekend.
Opening weekend. Yeah. We've never had, and this was the first one we've ever had.
Yeah, I mean...
And I was giving kudos to Cade because literally, I said, Tristan and I were just kind of like, dude, we suck on the first split. I mean...
It was just like bad luck. Like dating back to when we started duck hunting originally.
Well, he said like last year, like we had more ducks on our first hunt than they did like for... the first 2 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Yeah, no. So, yeah, last year, opening day, they shot 3 ducks, I think, or opening weekend or something.
Out of 4 pits.
Yeah, shot 3 ducks, and we shot like...
9. We shot 9 out of ours
9,
the very first morning.
And then that evening shot 4, and then the other pit shot 9. So, like, just immediately, it was like... a huge improvement. But I think first split, they ended up killing 314 ducks total.
Yeah.
And Kade's like, man, he's like, that's the best first split I've ever had. Like,
so here's
out of really 2 pits, right?
Yeah. So here's a clear message to all y'all that, oh, well, I want to wait until January to go to Arkansas duck hunt. Dude, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It depends on so many things. You better just be living right. Well, that's all I got to say. I mean, first it starts with that, and then you got to have a little bit of luck on your side.
Yeah, and that's like why Kate says, he's like, just pick a weekend and come 5 years in a row because, you know, you might get 2 that are badass. You might get 1 that sucks, 2 that sucks. You might get 5 that sucks. You just never know, like, how it's going to shake out, you know.
Or you spend $2,000-$3,000 a day and go to honey break.
Yeah,
I mean that's your options, really.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
It's like $1,400 a day, but still, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that we're always talking about the reality of things. And here's one thing that me and Tristan can give you a big tip if you're ever thinking about going to Arkansas. The very first thing you should do is book a trip with Delta Thunder Outfitters. Mm-hmm. And this is the reason why I'm saying it. If you want to go hunt public land and you want to go do all that, you need to get in there and start to understand what it's all about. Mm-hmm. You need to start making yourself, it's like peeling back the onion, right?
Yeah.
And you need to get in there and meet some good folks. That's where you're going to meet them. And that's why I say Delta Thunder Outfitters. Mm-hmm. If you want to go do that public thing, yeah, I mean, we do the public thing too, you know, but that's where you need to start with just starting to network and starting to understand what it's all about. Because here's the thing, in all of the private lands that you go hunt, unless somebody owns enough property to manage like their rest areas and stuff like that, y'all, it's a crapshoot in so many ways because it's dependent on what the ducks are doing.
Well, I would say like Florida people listening, specifically if you're going out there for the first time and you're wanting to hunt public, like from what we've kind of learned hunting both sides of the fence, like you don't really know what you don't know. And like in Florida, it's like we don't work ducks the same way that you do out there.
We don't even call the same way.
You don't. There's not mallards. You don't have mallards or pintail. I mean, you do have some pintails, but like all of the duck species that you kill in Florida, you can kill most of them out in Arkansas too. But they're more frequent out in Arkansas. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like you don't get to work those groups of like 200-300 teal. You don't get to work those groups of 30-40 pintail. You don't get to work those groups of 10, 12, 20 mallards. Like you don't get to learn how these birds react to calling, and like especially flooded timber. You don't know anything about flooded timber hunting Florida. And if you go with an outfitter, the nice thing is you kind of get a little bit of a taste for like working birds, and understanding. And I just
not a little bit, a lot of taste, I think.
And from our experience in hunting Florida, it's like so many times it's like buzzing teal around the marsh that you're
ringnecks
and just
woodies.
Stuff, a lot of stuff that's just buzzing around that like, yeah, if they decoy great, especially during early teal, you get some to decoy, but later in the season they've been there all year and you're basically taking passing shots. And it's just a different ball game learning how to work, birds coming out of the clouds,
what they're gonna it's flight control.
It is flight control.
It's
exactly,
flight control.
yeah.
Brad Harris said that years ago, and it really is. It's flight control, and everybody's got a little bit of a different step to the madness of how to do that. I mean,
and not that I'm even saying that we're anything special.
No,
because
yeah, no. I mean, like here's a great example. I feel you got Kade that's lived there and breathed duck hunting all of his life. Mm-hmm. Ever since he was born, old enough to get in his grandpa's truck, mm-hmm. right? He lives and breathes it, knows it. He knows how to play that game there, right? Mm-hmm. If 90% of you listened to Kade blow at teal, you would think he was crazy. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, what?
I think he sounds fantastic.
I know. Well, that's all you know. But the point is
that's all I need to know.
Everybody's going to be like, oh, you're over calling. You're doing this. And one thing I loved about Kade talking about Mojos and Lucky Ducks last weekend, he's like, I don't give a crap what all those people say about, oh, they get Mojo weary. And so like, he goes, no. He goes, I will run 2 Mojos all season long. He goes, now there's times where it's flight control.
Yeah.
It's very specific. I mean, you can't just sit there and have wings flying and look at your spread and say, they're not working because of the Mojos. No, maybe your spread sucks. Mm-hmm. I mean,
you need the lucky
and I don't mean sucks. It means it's not what they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not what they want. Maybe there's not enough wind, whatever it is. But why are we, Kade's whole thing is, why are you automatically saying, no mojos.
Well, and he said the other day, just like, sometimes it can be as simple as, a 25-degree tilt in the mojos. It can be as simple as that. And then once he kind of, like you said, peeling back the onion, like we've seen him kind of be like, take that approach throughout a morning, and then eventually be like, if I got to, I'll pull a mojo.
Yep.
And just run one, or if I got to on extreme occasion, to pull them both.
But 90-something% of the time,
yeah,
2 mojos, he is smoking ducks.
At least 2 most of the time. You said
at least 2, exactly. One thing I want to give big props out to is Bluebird Waterfowl and the animator. You guys have all seen it. George is awesome over there. He does have a unique product, and me and Tristan and actually Kade out there, we ran that thing for a whole year last year. And, we wanted to throw that thing out on an opening split. So we threw a Spoonzilla out there and did a one-wing Bluebird animator out there. And, dude.
A day with hardly any wind.
And, man, we had numerous times where ducks, they almost smashed it. Mm-hmm. I mean, so props out to you, George.
Absolutely. I was taking a drink of my beer, but yeah, no, I totally agree. So, Katie, one of the things that you said after this trip, especially after the last day when it was the last morning when it was like, wow, this was, we're done by 8:30, just an incredible freaking hunt. She's like, I think I might want to go again this year. So now, compared to last,
she said is that we named our video wrong last year, which is she might be hooked. She goes, "Oh, I'm hooked, baby." Yeah. That's what she said.
So compared to last year, what are your feelings? Like, what has been the thing that's made you more like interested in duck hunting since now versus then?
It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese, but now it's September and it's 85 degrees, and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable wader technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024?
That's like a
hard question.
I feel like that's a hard question.
Well, what about it makes you want to come back more now than you did,
Well, I don't know. I mean, so I'm pretty particular, the cast does not know this, but or the people that listen don't know this. I have 4 brothers, so I'm pretty particular about the people that I hang out with and I get along with, and I kind of just like hanging out with my guys. I kind of get used to the people. At least I've gone on a couple hunts now, and I like my small group of people, and I just have more fun when I'm with I mean, I'm sure everybody, maybe people don't feel this way, but I like being with a small group of people. Mm-hmm. I have a personal preference. Not everybody can be so picky and choosy, but I don't come all the time. So at least I feel like I kind of get the princess treatment when I go out there.
Right. And nice. You think, and from my perspective too, it's when I take her hunting, it's obviously I want to, if I'm weighing the option, it's I got to hunt to go take Katie and hunt a pit blind in Arkansas versus a mosquito-filled marsh in Florida where
I've never hunted in Florida, by the way.
Right.
That's never happened. And I'm from Florida, I'm a Florida girl, but
which we'll get there one day, but we're building up to
I mean, I might get there and I might be pissed off the whole time and it will never happen again, but I just want to get a puffin, which is not what they're actually called. What are they called?
So,
aren't they buffleheads?
Yeah.
They look so cute.
Her favorite duck is a bufflehead, which
puffin.
I was telling her, I was like, best odds we have to go get that is we go hunt some of these intracoastal bays in Florida. But
sounds like a lot of mosquitoes is what it sounds like.
And yeah, it definitely can be. And just for you guys that are trying to get your significant other into hunting for the first time, it's why not try to
you
set up the most conducive environment.
You want to move the obstacles out of the way. You don't want them getting bit by mosquitoes. You don't want them sweating to death.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's obstacles that you can't move. So
Go pee?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was supposed to say.
Yeah.
Like,
Talk about that.
so
Reality hunting.
peeing for a female is a little bit different than a guy because guys,
Good.
just
I don't
have the privilege where they can just like, get out of the blind and just, whip their peepees out at wherever they want to. Girls can't really do that. So like, we're like basically in the water. Like I couldn't like really like, hike down my waders and like, get on down there. Like I would have had my butt literally in the water, which wouldn't have worked out. So I like had to go on like a little bit of a hike. So everybody had to, I'm not kidding. Everybody had to stop what they were doing. I mean, the ducks weren't like really flying. So it was fine. I had to wait, but like I had to hike. Like,
So do we need pit blinds with a bathroom? Let's make a push for it.
I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen. It's not really realistic unless you had like a really strong female clientele that like, you could be like, this is mandatory. We'll get more females out. Like we did that. And I've only hunted a couple times and there's, majority men. So I don't really think that's ever going to be a strong push, but I just went on a little walk. It was fine. I, found a spot that I wasn't like in the water, that I could like, hide from everybody and like, get down.
She was in like some buckbrush, like a couple 100 yards away.
Okay, it's like, where is she going? You're like, dude, she's trying to go pee.
A different county.
He's like, she's going on a hike.
She's in Jackson County.
So at this point, being 6 duck hunts in and two weekends in, would you like, if a girl like came to you and was like talking about hunting or whatever, would you like throw on a sales pitch on like getting them to come hunting? Like, would you be like, yeah, you should come with us? And like, if you were,
it depends on the girl.
And if you were, like, how would that go? Like, what would be your sales pitch to women?
I mean,
at this point.
So I've had a couple of girlfriends ask me if they could come, and I definitely think that they should. I think Arkansas is different than Georgia or Florida. So, like, I have my hunter safety, and I don't think you have to have your hunter safety in Arkansas, do you?
No, so the way, yes, but the way it works is you have to have your hunter safety license, and once you have that, or your permit, you can buy a license in any state. So you have to have that to do anything.
I thought you didn't have to have one in Arkansas.
No, you do.
The rule is in Florida, they have a really cool program where it's like,
that's one state, though.
yeah, I know, but it's like take a buddy hunting, right? It's
right,
basically the thing.
She's not even hunted Florida yet, so it's just.
I know. I'm just saying, there's a contrast difference there. Is
so
that
it makes it harder, right? So like we've had a couple, like whether it's like one of my girlfriends or customers or like even like family, like they're like, oh, we want to go with you. You have to be committed. So when I committed to hunting, I guess it was probably almost 2 years ago.
Can I, real quick before you, I think you're going to get on this, but I just want to make sure you hit on this. Can you talk about like how easy it was to, in the grand scheme of things, to get your hunter safety license?
Yeah, no, I will.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I will. So I originally got it because I wanted to turkey hunt. I have still yet to turkey hunt. Tristan bought me all of the clothes I need to go.
Yep.
But that is not his specialty, so he has not taken me turkey hunting yet, so maybe one day. But he's got a turkey, but I have not gotten one yet. Anyway, but yeah, no.
We got a turkey.
We got a turkey.
Like y'all, like them to, yeah. So like I want one alone.
I claim half.
But yeah, no, honestly, it was pretty easy, but you have to dedicate time to it. Like it's not, I mean, I guess you could do it every, like, you could do it in like 2 hour increments, but like that would take you a long time. Like I really dedicated an entire weekend. I did it in 2 days.
Talk about that too. 2 days is better than 3, right?
And that's your hunter safety course.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it is self-explanatory. Other stuff that like when they're talking about like, loading muskets and stuff, that's a little interesting. I mean, I got to tell you, my family is, they're gun people. I don't see anybody loading muskets around here. So there were some interesting questions, but it's not particular. Like if you, I don't think if it's pretty self-explanatory. Like if you grew up in a gun family, you're gonna have no problem.
And I think it's like $27, an 8 hour course and a test. Essentially,
Yeah,
is all it was.
Was it 8?
Or,
I mean, it took.
Yeah,
it might
maybe
have been 8.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, and like it makes you sit through a lot of the stuff, and like I didn't need to watch the little videos and stuff. Like I knew a lot of it, self-explanatory growing up in a family like that. But I mean, anybody can get it. But like, if any of my girlfriends are serious about hunting, you have to get your hunter safety. You have to have it.
That's the first thing.
And then also, like, I don't think people realize, like, when you're duck hunting, like, you have to have like your waders.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you can't just not have them. Like, you have to.
And you can go on to frogtalks.com.
Yeah.
With code ZD315 and get 15% off. However, it cannot be used in combination with any other discount codes. But y'all, you can get that discount through December 2024.
Facts.
Let's go.
No, there is a little bit more of just obstacle, I guess, to getting into duck hunting.
They can't just like borrow my stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And versus like deer hunting, you just borrow somebody's rifle, throw on some camo and get in a tree stand.
But that's even difficult sometimes.
It is, but
depending,
the duck hunting is, the spot, and just there's a lot. I don't know. I feel like it's harder duck hunting.
There's definitely more dedication that goes into it. So I mean, I haven't gone hunting with like any of my girlfriends yet, and it might never happen, but maybe it will one day. We'll see.
Yep. No, I mean, the big push, honestly, is if you're a lady and you've been interested in the outdoors, and, one of the big questions that everybody always gets, no matter what we hunt, is how do you kill something that you love, right? And
I promise you can do it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. But point is if you want to go out and have a communal time with people and great fellowship and fun and just laugh your butts off, and have a good time, you will do that duck hunting.
Yeah.
You will. And if you don't, it's time for you to look for a different group of people.
Right.
Really, because that is the funnest part about it. And every lady that I've talked to that duck hunts, that's why they like it. Mm-hmm. Every single one. Yep. Yeah. And that's why it's so important. It's so important. Like the second day, I was like, Katie's sitting next to Kade, no matter what. Because I know that, we want you to have a great time.
Yeah.
And if that's what makes you to have a great time, then I'll sit on the end. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
I just know, like, any point going forward, like, I'm just going to sit next to him and I can just, that's all that's going to happen.
Right. So now we were so super thankful for that opportunity to have that for opening weekend, especially with you going, Katie. And, we embark yet on another journey, hoping to have some success. And we had the original OGs of Zero Duck 30. Minus Hunter. Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order. Mm-hmm. And that's us Hunter's working his ass off to go through school for radiology and doing a great job with that. We're proud of you, Hunter. But the OGs go out to Delta Thunder. Kade takes great care of us, put us in his new 2.0 lodge. Y'all got to check it out. And we got to just be like we always have been. Mm-hmm. And, if you've seen the cards that we were playing on some of these reels that Tristan played, and it was, for me, to have that with you first, my daughter-in-law, then have that with the boys.
I don't actually think you knew this. I was sad the entire time you guys were gone.
Yeah, she was saying, she's like, I kind of wish I was going. But
so I had other family I had to visit and stuff. It was right after Thanksgiving. But I was like, damn, like, they're going again. But, like, Tristan tries to say I'm not an OG, but I'm a wife.
Yep.
And wife are always the original OGs. Yeah. He's like, all the OGs are going. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm an OG.
When I say OGs, I mean, like, when we first started filming shit out in the marshes of Georgia and Florida, it was like,
I was also with you then.
We didn't cut our teeth. We slang some mud. Mm-hmm. But I remember the first time we went.
Got stuck in some mud.
There's a lot of country songs about that Georgia mud.
I heard all of the stories, so I was with you in spirit.
Yeah. But it was incredible to have that, and we had Mario, which is a great buddy of ours, and now works for Ducks Unlimited, and having his son out there, his first time ever seeing. When you go out there and you see it, that's the biggest thing here. When as a sportsman. Man or woman, anybody, you go out and see this kind of stuff on epic proportion as far as numbers. And that's the most mind-blowing thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can pull up your gun and shoot a duck, right? I mean, you do that wherever you're duck hunting. But to see the amount of numbers, and for us to see Darian see that for the first time, Drew, our good buddy, see that, Austin for the second trip, Mario's been a couple trips now. That's really what made it all for me and Tristan that weekend, was just seeing the smiles on their faces and the oh shits and oh my gods and all that stuff.
I've never experienced what they've experienced. Like, I've only ever experienced Arkansas. So I feel like I'm more privileged.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you were talking about.
Game.
You said earlier, you're talking about kind of admittedly, like the princess treatment, but you didn't grow up in as a person that's like outgoingly seeking hunting, like you.
No, I do it because it makes you happy.
Right. So like for me, like I want you to have like the closest to the thing that hooks me, because like that's the experience that hooks you. Like the
what about our last podcast when cases when it's really special is, I don't remember word for word, but you said when you get to basically do something that your partner loves.
Yeah.
There's something special about that, and
it's the fact that he like actually includes me in something he loves. It's, a lot of people don't get that type of treatment. So like the fact that like he wants me to go and experience what he loves to do and like includes me, and like all of your sponsors have really included me and like, brought me into the fold. Like that's been truly very special.
Yeah, shout out the Frog Dogs, man. Like, and really everybody without knowing it is kind of supported throughout, supported Kade throughout, indirectly. Yeah.
Well, it's made my experience so much better. Like too, I have supported people that I've never even met.
Right.
Yeah. So that like speaks volumes to the fact that like, they want me out there with you guys,
did he
supporting the brand. And
how much did Dirty Duck Coffee help you get you into the sport? Because I know you like coffee.
So, hey,
I was like,
let's give a good real shout out to Dirty Duck Coffee, because I think they do draw a lot of women into the sport.
What is it? The cinnamon teal is like
Snickerdoodle?
Yeah, that's the one I really like.
So the fact that I like, just being honest with y'all, like we, because of what we do, have worked out a deal with Dirty Duck, and
we owned a coffee shop. I mean,
of course, and they've sent us coffee, for what we do and promoting them on the podcast and things like that. And after about a month into us going through coffee bags, Katie's like, man, you know what? We've saved some money since going through this coffee. And, I think the last time Dirty Duck sent some coffee, they sent that new bag with Pit Boss Waterfowl, which is incredible.
Sick.
Cinnamon teal.
So sick.
The one with the fake Clint Eastwood on there, which
there's
is
like
Missouri
a
Boat Ride.
There's a coconut.
That's Missouri Boat Ride, yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good too.
No, but again, it's an entry.
Yeah.
It's an entry spot to get more people into the sport, especially women.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. And Frog Dogs, hooked Kade up with a pair of waders last year and then a jacket for this year. And it's been nice to see that kind of support. And one of the big things to us is like any company that's supporting us and we're showing videos, we want to show that across the board in our videos, Yeah. So we don't want Kade wearing some freaking waders I buy off Amazon for $37 or some crap like that,
Right.
Nothing wrong with that, but
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get into the sport. But, if you really need a pair of waders for your woman, what you need to do is use code ZD315 at frogdogs.com.
Yeah.
Do I sound a little like Kurt Busch?
Yeah.
I'm over here like,
you got to drink this
we need
Coca-Cola.
a special like Kade code for all of the women for Frog Dogs is what I think we need to do.
Yep. Hey, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, that going back to, that last weekend of the first split, Started off with a banger. You know, I think we were just short of a 5 or 6 man or whatever it was.
No, we were too short.
Yeah.
We shot 28 on a 5-man.
Yeah, a couple short of 5-man. And going to have a video coming out from that day. I don't really know how I'm going to, I mean, I might throw in some stuff from the other couple days, but then we kind of went through a couple days of lull, and then the last evening, we had 2 massive groups of teal come in. Like, I mean, there was this one group of teal that worked in that
3 figure eights that zoomed our heads.
In the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
I had to decide, like, am I going to film this or am I going to shoot this? And selfishly, I was like,
No, dude, I go, Tristan, you filming? He goes, hell no. These, you guys, y'all, we're sitting in the pit line, and a big shout out to Colton. Because Colton did an incredible job of holding the nerves. I mean, we're all ready to kill these sumbitches, and they came in doing it dirty, and they came in and figure eighted us. When I say figure eight,
but they just weren't coming center.
No, but when I say figure eight, the whole figure eight was in shooting range.
Yeah,
it was stupid how they were banking, man. And boy, Colton waited for that 3rd time, and we shot 9.
Yeah,
we dropped 9 with 5 people.
Wait,
it was incredible.
Was Colton calling them in?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like I wasn't there for this hunt, so so he was he doing the calling? Like, was he calling? The
He
shot?
was calling the shot. Yeah.
Where's Kade?
Kade had to do some stuff that afternoon, so we went out. It was me, Colton, and the boys.
Okay.
Me,
cool.
Colton, Austin,
Cool.
Tony, etc.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that you have that on video?
I got the second volley of teal.
So
and
sorry, everybody. I haven't seen all the video footage, so I'm just like figuring out. Like, I wasn't there. They were gone for like 5 days, so I feel like I'm always constantly piecing together like new bits and pieces of the story of what's going on.
Yeah. No, we got a few things coming video wise. We got a video coming from that weekend. I don't really know yet how I'm gonna put together the story. I'm still kind of working on that side of things because, you know, when you have a whole weekend of filming stuff, like the first day, of course, filmed everything, was awesome, but then the slower days, you know, it's harder to put together that into the episode. So I don't know if it's just going to be the first day filmed or what, but outside of that, we got some stuff from last year that we're talking about potentially putting into an episode, and we're going to put out some product reviews and some other things and basically try to fill this gap between now and when the split opens back up with some content, you know?
Sorry, Katie, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'll probably be going hunting again this year. We haven't really figured out a time when that's going to happen just because we have family coming in town and stuff. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I was back on the podcast and back with you guys filming in January at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, there's been a lot of different curveballs tossed our way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll be figuring that all out.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I can't not go through this podcast without throwing shit at Drew.
Drew?
Drew, oh yeah. So let me just tell you guys a story. A little game called Texas Hold'em.
Oh,
All right.
Drew.
So y'all played Texas Hold'em before. I'm talking to you here, and you've played Texas Hold'em, and you know we've all been that guy, right? Where you're just like, dude, I'm gonna freaking bluff everybody. I'm gonna bet everybody right out of these pots.
Oh God.
Well, Drew gets a little cocky.
Well.
And it's drinking a bunch of beer, and he's pushing us all around with his chip stack. Every time Drew's in the pot, he's raising it, and he's like, oh, yeah. And honestly, it was working to his advantage until he met Mr. Vogel.
Which Mr. Vogel?
This one.
Oh.
And
well, he kept doing it all game. I never had a hand to really challenge him on.
No, nobody
like,
did.
Shit.
Nobody did. I think we were all telepathically thinking,
who was shuffling?
I cannot wait to check raise Drew.
Yes, exactly.
Who was shuffling?
Everybody.
It was
going
consecutive.
around.
It was consecutive.
It wasn't just Drew.
Well, it gets down to me and Drew, right? And I looked at one of the guys, Tristan or Mario or whatever, and I winked at him, and I knew they felt my vibe. They were like, yeah, screw Drew, right? Well, we get down, it's me and Drew, and I'm like, dude, we're really close on chips, you know, and I'd taken him for a couple good hands, you know, and I'm like, we're really close now. And so I remember saying, please give me a great hand that I can check raise Drew on, please, please. And I get king, queen of diamonds. So I looked at it. It wasn't much, you know, and I checked, and Drew bet, and I called. Flop comes out. Jack 10-9, whatever it was. And I had a royal flush draw. I go, it was my bet, and I goes, check. Drew's like all in. I go, call! And I had a freaking, it wasn't the nuts at that point. He was drawing about 5% chance, I guess. But, yeah, dude, smoked his ass and sent him to bed crying.
Gotta love a friendly. I love a poker game and a duck camp. You gotta have that.
You have
It's
to.
important.
You have to. And that's another Arkansas tradition we've picked up on.
I haven't done it yet.
Oh,
Well,
snap.
Next time.
We got to get that blackjack game going.
Every time I'm in Arkansas, there's just like a big, gigantic bonfire with.
We do that too.
In danger.
Yep.
In danger. So where are we setting our sights on next? We got these videos coming out. So what do we got planned? So quite honestly, again, going back to the beginning of this podcast about some things that are kind of twisting me and Tristan, I will tell you this. We are 100% dedicated to making sure that we're out there busting our asses, doing what we can to provide you guys the best content possible. But the biggest thing that Tristan and I are looking forward to right now, short term, is, bro, we can't wait to get back in the Florida marshes.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about that and who we're going to hunt with and what that's all about, Tristan.
Yeah, so we got a trip lined up on the 16th that it's been planned for about 6 months now. And
Yeah.
we're really excited. So it's with a couple folks out of Florida that we've kept up with a long time. Dalton, that we've filmed with for all, going way back. He's going to be there with Salty Shots Photography. Dylan Diddleline, I think is how his last name's pronounced, but he's the owner of East Coast Cut 'em Boys, and he's partnered with a guide service down there called Marsh Runner Guide Service, I believe is what it's called. But these guys we've been keeping up with, back and forth the last 6 months or so, and just trying to figure out something where we can collab. And we're going to go down there and film a podcast and film a hunt, and we're really excited to just get back in those Florida marshes. And it's just one of those things that's like, even though we've had a lot of curveballs thrown at us, personally and stuff, it's like, man, we got to just make that happen. It's been planned for so long,
Yeah, we're excited about that. We got a public land hunt lined up in Florida. And one of the biggest things that we, probably our biggest announcement this week, is we just formed a relationship with Chris Williamson Outfitters. Williamson Outfitters, y'all, they are your premier outfitter for diver duck hunting / sea duck, wherever you guys want to call it, gator hunting, incredible
triple tail fishing,
incredible fishing experiences, offshore fishing and inshore. Chris is somebody that we were fortunate enough that Tristan kind of gifted me one year, and then
well, before that, Drew had been part of a Ducks Unlimited hunt that I think Mario had bought through a banquet.
No, he won. He was highest bidder.
Yeah,
On a banquet,
right at a banquet, and Drew went on that hunt, had a great experience, and the year went on, and I was like, shoot, we're getting later into duck season, and me and my dad both wanted a redhead, so I was like, shoot, maybe one thing cool I could do is book a hunt out here. I saw Chris had some dates opened up or whatever, so we went out there for a day and stay at the lodge for the night and stuff, and ended up shooting some buffleheads and having a good time. The redheads and bluebills weren't really cooperating, but we didn't go home empty-handed. And the lodge is just like first class, like an amazing lodge. It's just a cool experience, just be out there hunting and like literally like the bays of like the Panhandle. it was really neat. And he runs a first class operation out there, and we're excited to be partnered with Chris.
Yeah, I mean, Chris is a lifetime sponsor of Ducks Unlimited, which, if you guys know, that's not a cheap thing to do. So he's 100% dedicated to conservation and just doing everything right. I mean, they've got a great family business there. Chris, thank you so much for believing in us, and we appreciate the partnership that we have moving forward. Chris is going to be one of the main sponsors of this podcast. And we can't wait to promote you, bud.
And one thing I would say, too, is, Chris, of all the episodes we've had, 79 episodes now, he is the #1 most downloaded episode we've had.
Wow.
Which is really saying something, because we've had some pretty damn cool guests, including Chris, on this podcast. And,
absolutely.
It speaks volumes to our Florida audience, and, it's kind of... it's just really neat for me to see personally, and I'm sure you too, Tony, like, to see how much of our audience is really Florida based and stuff, because that's really where we cut our teeth with Waterfowl.
That's where you got the buffalo heads at?
Yeah.
Yep. And
Katie's like, that's what she calls puffing. So
they're pretty looking, little duck.
You guys were going for red heads. I'm over here like, let's get the fluffy ones.
Yeah.
Let's get a little purple, green, red heads.
Wait till you smell them, and I don't know if you're...
They smell stinky.
They stink.
Oh.
Why?
They smell like old cat food.
What are they doing?
They eat fish and live in the salt water. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but y'all, if you're looking for a first class experience on a blue collar budget, Chris Williamson Outfitters, and I know he goes by Williamson Outfitters, but his son is a major part of this operation as well. It's exciting, and you guys can go down there and have really, if you're after that redhead, if you're after that bufflehead, if you're after that canvasback or whatever it might be, bluebill, it's one of the few places you can go hunt and get after lesser and greater scalp, and kill a gator and go fishing. And if you time it right, you might be able to shoot some teal, go fishing, and kill a gator.
Yeah, I think they do several different packages throughout the year. That's like a cast and blast type deal, you know?
Yeah. So check him out, you guys.
Absolutely. So, guys, this has been an awesome podcast catching up with y'all. Katie, I just wanted to flip it back to you, before we get off this thing, and she
says she's sitting over here shaking her head no.
See, if you had any other notes you wanted to add to your experience or anything like that to wrap this thing up.
Pour me some more champagne.
Yeah, about that. No, probably just I'm looking forward to my next hunt, whenever that might be, once we figure out our schedules going forward. But I appreciate you guys and the support that you give the podcast, and to Tristan and Tony, and I guess me and all the other team. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time out to come on, babe. And anytime I can, you're on this podcast, it's a blast, and I know a lot of people enjoy it, and a lot of women enjoy it too. I think it kind of shows a little bit of authenticity. You being my wife, like your real experiences of being out there in the duck blind. So appreciate it. Appreciate you being so open too.
Hey, Katie, take us home.
What do you mean?
Take us home.
What do you want me to say?
It's one.
Oh, if you guys don't already know this, but it is one hell of a life.
That's right.
Thank y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.